Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is the live game preview ahead of Everton's upcoming Premier League fixture against Manchester United tomorrow afternoon. 12:30 kick-off for Everton tomorrow as they face a really difficult test away to Manchester United at Old Trafford. Rafa Benitez has had his pre-game press conference today. He confirmed that Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison and Seamus Coleman will still be unavailable for this game. Andre Gomez also still unavailable, and Alex Iwobi is a doubt after picking up a bit of a knock in training. Jean-Philippe Gbamin has returned to fitness and will be available for this game. However, it's clear Everton are coming into this one with significant injury issues. I've labelled it in the title as an injury crisis, and the reason for that is because when you're 4, 5, 6 games into a season and you've got Manchester United away from home, aside that notoriously every year is a very difficult team to play. You know, you'll never go to Old Trafford and have an easy game. You won't, regardless of who the manager is, regardless of the players on the pitch. You will never go to Old Trafford and find it relatively easy to get a result out of Manchester United, let alone going to Old Trafford with 4 or 5 key injuries to first team players. I'm talking both of our centre forwards, our club captain, a midfielder that mightn't necessarily have started, but certainly would have been a member of the squad. Alex Iwobi, a playmaker who again mightn't necessarily be everybody's favourite, but again would certainly be a member of the matchday squad had he been fit, and still may be fit. There's just doubts surrounding whether or not that will be the case. And like I said, you don't need any excuse to go into a game against Manchester United to find it more difficult than what it already will be. This would have been an extremely difficult game had we have had a full strength squad going into it tomorrow. I would have fancied us a lot more going into this game with a full strength squad, because I think Manchester United have shown on a number of occasions this season that although they've had a decent start to the season, they're on the same points as Everton. They've won 4 games, drawn 1 and lost 1, exactly the same as what Everton have. However, I think their performances have been, again, some of the results have been, I don't want to say lucky, because you make your own luck in football and scoring goals and winning games that way. It'd be a bit harsh to say lucky, but they certainly haven't performed to the level that you would expect them to perform given the quality of players that they have at their disposal. This is a Manchester United team who, for me, should be winning the league this season. Absolutely. Do I think they will win the league? I don't. Personally, I think Chelsea will win the league, but it is a side full of players that should be more than capable of winning this league this season. Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the, if not the best footballer on the planet. Jadon Sancho, wonderful young footballer who obviously they've been trying to sign for a long time. Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, Edison Cavani, Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, Jesse Lingard, all top quality footballers. They've got a really good squad, Manchester United, and granted they've got a couple of injuries themselves. I think Luke Shaw is a doubt for the game tomorrow. I think Harry Maguire is out injured as well, but they've still got a plethora of players that should be more than capable of, like I said, challenging for the Premier League title this season. The one thing that I don't know whether they have got or not is a manager that is capable of challenging for the Premier League title. Now, they might have finished within the top 2, 3, 4 with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in previous seasons, but they've never really been a challenger. They've never really been a side that you look at and you go, do you know what? This Manchester United team could genuinely win it this season. Certainly not since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been their manager. They might have come second to Manchester City or third to Manchester City, but there's typically been a massive gap in points and a massive gap in results. And like I said, it's never an easy game, against Manchester United. It's never an easy fixture going into a game at Old Trafford, let alone going into a game at Old Trafford with multiple members of your first team squad out injured. If you're wondering why there's different lines on my face and there's all sorts of things going on, it's because my blinds are broke. I've explained this before, but I'll explain it again for anybody new watching. My blinds are broke, I can't fix them just yet, and the sun is basically coming and going as it pleases. So hopefully it just does one in a moment, but that's why you might see me sort of pulling a face, and that's why you can see various lines on my face. But you'll have to put up with it, because there's not much I can do unless I wait until 10 o'clock to do a stream when it's no longer sunny. But yeah, as I said, makes out to be a massive game for Rafa Benitez tomorrow. Really, really difficult fixture. As I said, we know so far from Rafa's press conference today that Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, Seamus Coleman, Andre Gomez all out injured. John-Philippe Gbamin has returned, but whether or not he'll have any involvement tomorrow, I would assume that he won't be at that peak level of fitness that he needs to be in order to have an involvement tomorrow. And Alex Iwobi is a doubt as well. And as I said, it's never great coming up against the Manchester United side, with injuries like this. But this is a Manchester United team that Everton can get at. As I said, if we'd have had a full strength side going into tomorrow's game, I'd have fancied us to get something out of this game. And I don't not fancy us to get something out of this game now. I just think it is obviously a lot more difficult because of the injuries we've got to the squad. But as I said, their performances this season, them being Manchester United, of course, haven't been the greatest. They haven't. They lost last week to Aston Villa in the Premier League, of course, losing that game by a 1-0. Bruno Fernandes missing a penalty in the last minute. They were lucky to beat West Ham United the week before. Jesse Lingard scoring in, the 88th minute, 89th minute. Mark Noble missing a penalty with the last kick of the game, which, again, could have ended in a draw. They were lucky to beat Wolves, towards the start of the season. Wolves absolutely ran rings around them for 85 minutes, couldn't convert any of the chances. Mason Greenwood comes on with 2-3 minutes to go, scores, they win that game. Obviously they drew with Southampton earlier on in the season as well. They won midweek against Villarreal in the Champions League. Cristiano Ronaldo scoring a goal in the 97th minute or something like that. They were behind in that game at Old Trafford. And if I'm being perfectly honest with you, I'm actually happy that Manchester United won on Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it was. I am happy because I think had they have lost that game, they'd have been coming into this one with 3 games on the bounce and 3 losses at Old Trafford. Had they not have lost, or 3 games on the bounce with no win at Old Trafford. They lost midweek to West Ham last week, midweek to West Ham in the Carabao Cup as well, knocked out by West Ham. Obviously they lost to Aston Villa last Premier League game out, and had they have not won on Wednesday Wednesday night, it would have made this task a lot more difficult for Everton, because this would have been a Manchester United team that were coming out with a need to win, not even with a want or with an aspiration to win. They would have needed to win that game. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will have needed to win this game to keep himself in a job, because I firmly believe they will get to a point with Manchester United's board and their fans, and maybe a lot of their fans are already at this point, where they look at their squad and they think, hang on, we've got Cristiano Ronaldo, again, as I said, one of the best footballers in the world, arguably the best footballers in the world. Some people would have that argument. Jadon Sancho, Paul Pogba, one of the best midfielders in the world, certainly is when he plays for his national country. Bruno Fernandes, exceptional footballer. All of these various different, high quality footballers, and yet they're not challenging for the league. And it then, the sort of, I suppose, the attention turns to the manager. Is their manager a good enough manager to win the Premier League? Personally, I don't think he is. And this won't even come back to bite me on the arse if Everton don't win tomorrow, because I'll still stick with that sort of, I'll still stick with that assumption, or not assumption, I'll still stick with that opinion that he isn't good enough to win a Premier League. I really, really don't. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will understand that, especially given Cristiano Ronaldo is now part of Manchester United. He hasn't come into Manchester United to finish second behind City or behind Chelsea, or to challenge for the top 4, or to, maybe have a go at trying to win the league but not really getting there, or get to the quarters of the Champions League. He hasn't at all. He has come into Manchester United to win the Champions League and to win the Premier League. That is it. So it will come to a point where the pressure really starts to pile on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And as I said, I'm absolutely made up they won that game the other day, because, if there's a time you don't want to play Manchester United, it's when they're on a bit of a losing streak, they're at home and they desperately need to win, because that's when they come out. Again, as I said, it's a bit mad, this one, isn't it? Because typically I try and go into every Everton game with optimism. I try and go into every Everton game with sort of optimism and feeling confident, and I can't sit here and say I'm massively confident tomorrow. I'm not. I think, as I said, had we have had Dominic Calvert-Lewin, had we have had Richarlison, had we have had Seamus Coleman fit, I would have fancied Everton to get something out of this game. I really, really would, because I think this Manchester United team can be got at. Aston Villa proved it last week. West Ham proved it a couple of weeks ago, albeit they come away from the game with nothing, but they had the chance to equalise in the last minute of the game with a penalty that they missed, and they only conceded with 3 or 4 minutes to go. You know, Southampton proved it earlier in the season. Wolves, had they have been more clinical, would have won that game. Villarreal proved it midweek that had they have been more clinical, they'd have won that game. So I don't think this is a Manchester United side, certainly not at the moment, to massively fear. Because I think performance-wise, results-wise, yes, again, they joined second. I think they currently sit in fourth on goal difference, but they joined second, same points as Everton, same points as Manchester City. I think they've got the same points as Chelsea as well. I think there's 4 of us with the same amount of points. However, again, coming into the game with the injuries that we've got, I can't help but feel it's going to be really, really difficult for us to get a result tomorrow. And that's me being perfectly honest with you. I could sit here all you like and try and blag that, yeah, we'll beat these. I'm dead confident we'll batter these tomorrow. You have to look at their quality. You know, Rafa Benitez done his pre-game press conference today. He must have been asked about Cristiano Ronaldo about 422 times. You know, Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, Edison Cavani, Mason Greenwood. Manchester United can afford to have 3 or 4 players injured at the start of the season, because they've got 5 or 6 players that can just come in who are equally as good. And if they're not as good, they're still very, very good and can come in and replace them. Everton haven't got that luxury. We simply haven't. Tomorrow, Rondon will start. I have no doubt Rondon will start. Again, a player who has come in to be a backup for a start. He's come in to be a backup to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but not only has he had to step up and play, he's had to step up and play when he's clearly not been fit enough to do so. He's clearly not been ready to do that. Again, he'll have a really difficult afternoon tomorrow. But I still think there's an opportunity for Everton. I still think there's an opportunity to get at this Manchester United side and to cause them issues. I think Damari Gray and Josh Townsend will have to be absolutely at the top of their games. I think, of course, as we said, Solomon Rondon hopefully can put in a better performance. Hopefully can show his physical side a little bit more tomorrow. Battle with the Manchester United defence. Make it difficult for them. You know, make them almost sort of sit there and think, actually, do you know what? We've got a real task on our hands. Defensively, we're going to have to be at our very best. We're coming up tomorrow against, you know, the player who a lot of people, and I mean a lot of football fans, would argue is the greatest player to ever grace the earth. Now, you can look at Cristiano Ronaldo and think, he's 35, he's 36, this, that and the other. This fella plays football like a 23-year-old. He's got a physique of a 23-year-old. He runs around screaming his Auntie Sue's name every time he scores. This isn't a Cristiano Ronaldo 35, 36-year-old that you look at and go, he's still very good, but he's not, he's not at the top of his game, this, that and the other. He is still a massive threat for Everton tomorrow. Goal scoring threat. He's already scored 4, 5, 6 goals, something like that, since rejoining Manchester United. Scored in the Champions League. He's a winner. He'll score in big moments. He'll score match-winning goals, and that's what Everton have got to be careful of tomorrow. I think Everton, starting with Yerry Mina in the back line, will be imperative, and I mean that massively imperative. For me, I said it before and I'll say it again, every single central defender at Everton Football Club plays a lot better when Yerry Mina is playing next to them, and that's just fact. Whether it be Ben Godfrey, whether it be Mason Holgate, whether it be Michael Keane, whether it be Jared Branthwaite, whoever it is that starts in that other centre-back position performs much better when Yerry Mina is partnering them. That is a fact. And I also think not only because of that, and because Yerry Mina, for me, in my opinion, is our best centre-half, but I think Yerry Mina, in terms of his personality and the type of footballer that he is, I think he'll be desperately needed tomorrow to manage Cristiano Ronaldo. What we don't need tomorrow is to be sitting staring at Cristiano Ronaldo going, oh my god, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's absolutely amazing. He's one of the best footballers ever. Think of what he's achieved. I can't wait to get his shirt at the end of the game. I can't wait to get a picture with him to show me kids. What we need is players that are going to go, oh my god, and I think Yerry Mina will think like this, I really do. Oh my god, there's Cristiano Ronaldo. I hope that when he leaves this pitch, he leaves thinking that was the hardest game of football I've ever had. I don't want Cristiano. I don't want us to perform like we did against Manchester City on the last day of the season, We turned up to Aguero's party. We were the entertainment. We were the class clown. We were there so everyone can point at us and laugh at us and go, we're all having a boss time. This is great. And look at them. They've come. They're dead funny. We can laugh at them. They're a nonsense. I don't want any of that. I want us to turn up and make players like Cristiano Ronaldo, Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, Edison Cavani, Jadon Sancho walk off that pitch at full time tomorrow and think, do you know what? That was the hardest game of football. Imagine having that impact on somebody like Cristiano Ronaldo. And that's the mentality I think Yerry Mina will have. I think Yerry Mina will be more interested in Ronaldo leaving the pitch thinking, I've never faced a more difficult defender than Yerry Mina, instead of Ronaldo leaving the pitch going, oh yeah, all these players want me autograph because I'm Cristiano Ronaldo. That's what we have to be careful of tomorrow. Don't respect this Manchester United team as much as maybe some other teams will or would, or maybe they should. Cristiano Ronaldo should be respected as one of the best footballers that's ever played the game, because he is, factually. But when we're on that pitch tomorrow, when those 11 players in royal blue are on that pitch tomorrow, I want them to act as if Cristiano Ronaldo is just another lad they're having a kick about with. I don't want them to be scared to go anywhere near him. I don't want them to be scared to confront him or get in his face if they think that he's died or he's done something wrong. I don't want the defence to be scared to go through him if there's an opportunity to rough him up a little bit, to get in his ear. And that's what we've got to do to this Manchester United side. Aston Villa didn't give them any respect last week. They turned up at Old Trafford and they won the game. Now, okay, Manchester United might have had their chances to win the game and they might have been on top form. But as I said, this is a Manchester United side who have got a lot of quality but aren't really performing to the level that you would expect them to be performing this season. They aren't. Look at the teams they've dropped points against. Aston Villa are a side that we all will sit here and probably agree will be challenging for European football this season. Now, we think Everton are in this bracket of teams that come the end of the season will be challenging for the position in either the Europa League or the Europa Conference League, not the Champions League. West Ham turned up, and West Ham are also in that bracket, turned up at Old Trafford, performed really, really well. Turned up, I think it was at the London Stadium, actually. Turned up, performed relatively well, conceded in the last couple of minutes and then missed the penalty. They're a side that are in our bracket. Aston Villa, a team that will probably be in that bracket of sides that will be fighting for the European position, turned up at Old Trafford, beat them last week. Wolves, again, you could argue it in that bracket as well, turned up and should have won that game. Everton are a side that are in that bracket, so there's no reason as to why we can't get at Manchester United tomorrow. Now, yes, Wolves, West Ham, Aston Villa, done that with pretty much a full strength side. Everton have got 4 or 5 injuries. I don't need to keep going on about it. We all know it's the case. 4 or 5 injuries that will hinder us massively tomorrow and will hinder us until the point that those players return. The best news for us is that there's an international break after tomorrow's game. I usually despise the international breaks, but the last 2, I must admit, I think have been absolute godsends for us. I really, really do, because they've come at the perfect time in regards to players recuperating, players recovering. We haven't got many going out on international duty. Luca Dean's going out on international duty. Jordan Pickford going out with England. Luca Dean obviously going out with France. I think Anthony Gordon's going out with England under the 20s as well. But the core group, certainly the players that have picked up injuries, i.e. Seamus Coleman, Richarlison, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, aren't going away with their international countries. So those players will have the next 2 weeks after Saturday to recover and hopefully be back fit and available for the game against West Ham, which is the game back after the international break. So if we can get through tomorrow with a result, a point I'd take at this point, then I think it's a really, really, really good, it'd be a really good situation to be in. I know some people are saying it's a free hit tomorrow. This is a free hit, but I still don't want us to lose the game. I still don't want us to go out and lose 4-5-0. And I don't think, do you know what I actually think is sort of putting it that sort of worrying feeling in my mind? It's not necessarily the fact it's Manchester United, or it's the fact it's at Old Trafford, or it's the fact that it's a team with Cristiano Ronaldo in, because I've seen this Manchester United side at Old Trafford with Cristiano Ronaldo lose a game of football to a side that they should have been beaten, perform in a way that is what many United fans would deem unacceptable. The manager come under a ridiculous amount of stick. It's that pre-season game, the last pre-season game of our pre-season schedule, I suppose, this summer, a week before the Premier League season. We go to Old Trafford and we lose 4-5-0, was it? Something like that. I think it was 5-0, wasn't it? it's that game that just sort of makes me a little bit more worried going into this one, because it was the same Manchester United side again, except they now are 4-0. They now have Cristiano Ronaldo, who of course only adds to that team. So that I think that's what's given me a little bit of a worrying feeling, is that it's that pre-season game more over than it's Manchester United Old Trafford. But look, it'll be a difficult game. It will be a difficult game. I think one thing we could all agree on going into tomorrow is that, well, two things we could all agree on. A, an 12:30 kickoff is far too early. But also B, every Everton player tomorrow has got to be at 100%. We can't afford to be carrying any sort of player. Everybody has got to be at their best. Everybody has got to be working hard. Everybody has got to be battling. And do you know what? Everton might turn up, and every single player that walks on that pitch tomorrow in a blue shirt might give 110%, battle, fight, show commitment, show desire, show energy, get in their faces, and we might still lose the game. Because let's be honest, head to head, if Manchester United are at 100% and Everton are at 100%, Manchester United win that game of football. But we've seen on a number of occasions this season, both at Old Trafford and away from Old Trafford, that this Manchester United team, more often than not, haven't been at 100%. And if sides that are coming up against them perform and show, a bit more commitment, a bit more desire, a bit more want to win the game, then they have a very good opportunity to win the game against this side. And I really hope that that's the case for Everton tomorrow. As well as that, obviously, we need to create chances. Of course, we need to take the chances that we create. I think we'll get chances tomorrow. I do. I think the pace of Demarai Gray can cause United some real issues. I think the ability of Andros Townsend, both, of course, have had an absolutely unbelievable start to the season. They've been amazing. Two players who come in for 1.5 million combined transfer fee. The pair of them have been absolutely excellent. If you're enjoying, by the way, so far, please hit that like button. It does only take a second, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. That would mean a massive amount to me. If you could share the stream as well, that'd be completely brilliant if you could do that as well, because that would only take a second and it would be boss. But yeah, we're gonna have to take our chances. I think Andros Townsend has got to be at his best tomorrow, and if he is, I think we'll create chances. Same with Demarai Gray. I think Solomon Rondon has got to offer a little bit more. I think he's got to offer a little bit more. I think the midfield have got to win that midfield battle. It'll be difficult tomorrow. They may come up against Fred or Paul Pogba or Bruno Fernandes, Scott McTominay, whoever it may be. But we've got to win that midfield battle, and we'll do my predicted starting 11 very shortly, and I'll talk through my midfield and why I think that the midfield I've chosen could give us the best opportunity. And like I said, defensively, we've got to be strong. Whoever partners Yerry Mina tomorrow has got to be up for effectively replicating what Yerry Mina's doing, not giving them respect, getting in their faces, making it physical, making it a battle, making it difficult for Manchester United's forward line, who of course we know has got a lot of quality within it. Jordan Pickford's got to be at his best as well. And I think if we are, there's a serious chance we could get something out of this game. And as I said, if we can, then it'll be brilliant leading into what is at the moment a much needed international break in regards to getting through, like I said, tomorrow, and having that 2-week period where, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, Seamus Coleman, Andre Gomez now can recuperate, rest, and hopefully get back to full fitness ahead of the West Ham game after the international break. Anyway, let's get into the live comments then. We will be doing my predicted starting 11 very, very shortly, but before we do that, let's get into the live comments. As I said, if you're watching and you're enjoying, please hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Whammy says, Camlad, how's everybody doing? What crisis Cam Gabaman is back. Well, again, as I said, a lot of people, Evertonians and non-Evertonians, would argue that Everton's current injury situation isn't a crisis. I would argue heavily against that opinion. I think it is a crisis. I think when you're 5 games into a season, you've got your 2 centre-forwards, your captain out injured, you've only just had your goalkeeper return from injury, your left-back went off with an injury in one game, Andros Townsend had to go off last week because he was shattered. I think that's a crisis at this point in the season, especially when you're coming up against the Manchester United team who have got quality to burn. Not literally, but you get what I'm saying. Forgotten World of Movie says, hi Cam, I'm praying that we beat these. Can't stand them. Can't stand Man United. Yeah, me too, mate. Me too. I think, and I do think they're there to be beaten. And again, it may sound like I'm saying that with the squad that we've currently got, they're not a beatable team. I think it's no. I don't think there's any doubt. I don't think anybody would disagree that had we have had Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, Seamus Coleman, we would have been given a much better chance of beating this United side. But it doesn't mean we haven't got any chance tomorrow. We've still got Andros Townsend, who's arguably been our best player this season. Damari Gray, who's a very close second. Abdoulaye Doucouré, who's been up there. Alan, who's been excellent. We've still got a side that can trouble this Manchester United team tomorrow. Is it our strongest? No. Is it ideal? No. But I still think it's a side that, if, as I said, everybody gives it 110%, and Manchester United don't, we could cause them real issues. Jason says, hi Cam, hi everybody. Hi Jason, hope you're doing well. Whammy says, Carl says, I go into every season thinking Liverpool will win, so I'm absolutely not devastated when they do. Whammy says, it does that, the sun. Yeah, it does. Bright says, forgotten never begged Tom Cruise for a bruising. Interesting. How'd you manage to bring Tom Cruise into it? Is Tom Cruise a toffee? There you go. Interesting. Whammy says, nah, he isn't that close yet to being sacked. Nuno or Arteta will go before. I'm not necessarily saying he's close to being sacked. But what I mean by that is I do think at some point this season there will come a point where if they are not performing or getting results more often than not, because let's be honest, they haven't performed particularly well this season in games, but they've still gotten results out of those games. If they start to drop results, I think a lot of Manchester United, staff members, board members, etc., will look at the situation and go, can we afford to keep Ole Gunnar Solskjaer here? They might only have Cristiano Ronaldo for 2 or 3 seasons. Now, they'd look at the situation and go, with another manager, will we win the league with Cristiano Ronaldo? I think they would. With Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, will they? I don't think they will. So, obviously, it's only early days, and we'll see how things go within the season. And hopefully Everton are another one of those teams that the Manchester United board are jotting down for dreadful results when it comes to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But we have to, like I said, we have to turn up and we have to perform. It's not about Man United, it's about Everton. Whammy says, nah, he isn't that. Oh, we just read that one out. Leave it out, Bright. Go on, lad, up to top. He says, Cam is right, Cam. Carl says it's a free hit. We are nowhere near United right now, even though they aren't the best. We're still building. I agree. Whammy says, the battle will be in midfield. It is where they are struggling to find balance. Yeah, fair enough. Jason says, Andros Townsend, 30 yards is going to win it for us. Imagine the scenes. Carl says, nah, Ronaldo is a tapping merchant. That's okay. Listen, I've got a lot of respect for Ronaldo because every time he scores, he shouts out his auntie Sue. So fair play to him, family man. Last of the Corinthians says 1878 says we need 3 in midfield tomorrow, otherwise I think we'll be overrun. I would agree. Top Cat says Everton 7, Man United 0. What is that? The alarm clock going off? Come on, you lose. It's right. Crimson says, alright, Cam, what we doing well. Going to be the biggest test tomorrow on where we stand against one of the top 6, of course. We have players out. Just hope we go straight in. Yeah, I'd agree. I think tomorrow will be a test of Rafa Benitez. And not necessarily if we don't win, he's failed the test. Or if we don't perform, he's failed the test. But more so how he can organise this side to manage against one of the sides that will undoubtedly challenge for the title this season. Whether they win it or not is another question, but they will undoubtedly challenge for the title this season. How we can manage against this side away from home with players out injured. Are we just going to go out and get stampled all over? I don't think we will. I think we'll battle. I think we'll fight. And I think even if we do lose the game, we'll do it in a manner that hopefully we can all sit here and say, do you know what? That wasn't the worst performance. Yes, we could have done better, but it wasn't the worst performance. And I don't think it's a test as per se as to show where we are up against the top 6 because, as you just mentioned, Crimson, we've got players out injured. Had we have a full strength squad tomorrow, I'd actually fancy us to get a result. I really, really would. And I don't not fancy us anyway at the point, but it's obviously going to be a lot harder. Tom says need to take chances tomorrow. I'd agree. Kazi says if Villa can do it, I want to believe we can do too. Well, we can. We absolutely can. As I said, this Manchester United team are there to be gone at. There's no question about it. Tom says no reason to be scared of United. Go at them. Alright, Cam lad. Conte doesn't. Yes, I agree. Cam says alright, Tom. Score Tomas. I don't want to give a score, to be honest. Gavi says saw that Dom and Seamus were back and saying any thoughts on whether we will see them available tomorrow, even as subs. Hardly doubt it. Rafa Benitez had his press conference today and said that although both have been training along with Richarlison and Andre Gomez, they aren't ready to be a part of the side tomorrow. We know Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Seamus Coleman have only just returned to sort of one-on-one, training on the field with the ball, so they haven't even been integrated in team training yet. So I don't think we'll see either tomorrow, personally. Hopefully we don't. Cam says, I agree, Tom. Hopefully we don't go there and give United an easy game. Benitez masterclass pending, says Cam. Tom says, can't show them any respect, and same with Ronaldo. Straight into them. Come on, Everton. Shite. Everyone give Cam a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, Tom. Really appreciate it. But you're right, mate. You're right. We can't go in there. Ultimately, as I said, almost be starstruck and oh my god, it's Cristiano. And I know if you spoke to any Everton player ahead of tomorrow's game, they'd go, don't be stupid, Cam, why are we going to be starstruck? Yeah, it's Cristiano Ronaldo, but we're footballers, we're professionals, we do our job. But that's so much easier said than when you're standing there and he's standing right next to you and you're thinking, oh my god, that's Cristiano Ronaldo. We don't need any of that. As I said, I want Cristiano Ronaldo to walk off that pitch tomorrow, and any other United player, by the way, because as Rafa Benitez rightly pointed out today, it's not just about Cristiano Ronaldo. It's not. They've got a lot of other quality taken away. Cristiano Ronaldo could pick up an injury in the pre-game warm-up tomorrow, and still they would have a massively strong side and a more than strong enough side to beat us heavily if we don't perform. But as I said, I want Cristiano Ronaldo and the rest of this Man United squad to leave that pitch tomorrow thinking, oh, that was a tough game. That was a tough battle. They fought. They got in our faces. They didn't show us any respect. They battled. They made it hard for us. That's what I want. I don't want them to be walking off going, yeah, lovely win now. Who wants a photo then? Yeah, we'll take a photo. Because ultimately, you go into every game wanting to win. You go into every game, no matter what your circumstances, what your injury list is, where you are in the league, how many games you've won. Norwich went into that game last week against Everton wanting to win. Yes, they didn't win, but they didn't go into it thinking, oh, yeah, but we've got Todd Cantwell out, who's arguably our most important player. We've got, we haven't picked up a point all season. We're rock bottom. You know what? There's no point. They went into it thinking, we'll give it 110%, and if we win, great. If we don't win, we move on. That's what Everton need to do tomorrow. It'll be difficult. It will, of course, it'll be difficult. But again, this isn't a Manchester United team that you're looking at and thinking they've won every game they've played this season 4-0. They've battered everyone. Nobody's put a touch on them. They've looked untouchable. This is a Manchester United team who every time, personally, I've watched them this season, I've thought they're not that great. Even with Cristiano Ronaldo, yes, he's a match winner. Yes, they'll win a game in the 90th minute and you can almost put your house on the fact that it's Cristiano Ronaldo or Jesse Lingard at this point. Scoring the winner, but they're not performing fantastically for 90 minutes. And my point is that if that is the case tomorrow and there's periods in that game that Manchester United aren't performing, we need to be able to expose that. We can't go through a point where we create, or I don't want to be doing a sitting here tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon doing the instant match reaction and saying, okay, we've lost that game, but we had a period in the first half where we created 5 or 6 chances and we didn't take any of them. I want to be sitting here saying that in those periods that Manchester United have given every team they've played against this season, or almost every team they've played against, they've given them periods of time to create chances, to create opportunities. I want us to take those chances, and yes, that'll be much more difficult without Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison on the pitch. Of course it will, but that's where it falls to, again, Andros Townsend, Damari Gray, Abdoulaye Doucouré this season, Solomon Rondon, hopefully, to take the chances. Because I think you get chances against Manchester United, I do. Anyway, let's get into my predicted starting 11 then ahead of tomorrow's game, because I think it is really, really interesting. As I said, if you're enjoying so far, please hit that big thumbs up button. It does only take a second, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. If you could share this team, that would be absolutely brilliant. And if you are new, by the way, please do hit that subscribe button, because tomorrow, as soon as the game finishes, literally as soon as it finishes, we'll be back with the instant match reaction and the player rating straight away. So in order to get my initial, or to hear my initial thoughts and get involved with all of that, please do subscribe and you'll be one of the first to see those videos. Anyway, yeah, starting 11 then. In goal, Jordan Pickford. I think he pretty much picks himself at this point. Obviously, Asmir Begovic stepped in whilst he was out injured. Didn't really cover himself in a mass amount of glory. Jordan obviously returned last week against Norwich and I thought performed well. Thought he made a couple of decent saves. Didn't have an awful lot to do, granted, but he made a couple of decent saves and he managed the game really well. Left back, I'm going for Luke Dean. I think, as I said last week, his goal against QPR seemingly has done him a lot of good in regards to confidence. Thought he performed well against Norwich. Again, Didn't have a mass amount to do defensively, but getting forward, he created, he was putting crosses in, he was creating chances, and as I said, what he had to do defensively, he done well. 2 centre-backs, I'm going for Yerry Mina and Michael Keane. I think the pair of them were solid against Norwich. Okay, Michael Keane's distribution could have been a little bit better at times, but I think defensively, in regards to having to defend balls into the box or crosses or shots, I think he done well at that. I think Yerry Mina, again against Norwich, although he didn't have a lot to do, everything that he had to do, he done it immaculately. Every ball that, beat him for pace, he barged his man out the way, or he made sure he got to it first. And, for me, Yerry Mina is an absolute must tomorrow. I can't stress how important Yerry Mina is in this game for Everton tomorrow. I really, really can't. I just think that he is the only one out of the 5 centre-halves we've got who won't be afraid to make it physical, to rough it up, to battle with Manchester United's forward line. And yes, Cristiano Ronaldo might get the better of him because he's one of the best footballers to ever kick a ball. But if there's any defender at Everton Football Club who's going to give Cristiano Ronaldo, and as I said, Ederson, Cavani, Mason Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes, whoever else plays for that United side, a difficult game, it will be Yerry Mina. So Yerry Mina, along with along with Michael Keane for me at the centre back pairing, and then obviously Ben Godfrey at right back. Done well against Norwich. I thought, again, granted, didn't have a lot to do defensively, and will have a lot more to do defensively, and it leads to a question, I suppose, as to whether or not Ben Godfrey should play. Because I think positionally there's definitely a debate out there as to who is a better positional right back, Mason Holgate or Ben Godfrey. Now, although I believe Ben Godfrey is a better defender and a better player, there has been times, last season and this season, we saw it against Aston Villa, where Ben Godfrey has been exposed for his positional play whilst playing at right back. Obviously, it goes without saying, there's no room for mistakes tomorrow. What I don't want to be doing is sitting here saying we conceded 2 or 3 goals, and every goal we conceded was through our own mistake. Every goal we conceded was massively avoidable. And that means that Ben Godfrey is going to have to be absolutely on his game tomorrow, not leaving ridiculous amounts of space behind him. If he gets forward, he's got to get back. And I think we'll see a better Ben Godfrey tomorrow, I do. Obviously, he's been struggling with fitness. He is playing out of position because of Seamus Coleman's injury. But I think we'll see a better Ben Godfrey. I thought he looked much better against Norwich than he did against Villa and against QPR, in fact. And hopefully he's had another week under his belt, another week of fitness, another week of training. Hopefully we see, again, a Ben Godfrey performance which is, if not at the level that we know he can get to, certainly very close to that level. So that's my back line. Jordan Pickford in goal, Luca Dean left back, Michael Keane and Yerry Mina at centre-back, and Ben Godfrey right back. Into the midfield, and I'm actually going for a 3 in midfield. I'm going for Abdoulaye Doucouré, Alan and Tom Davies. Now, that might surprise a lot of you. Bear with me here. I know some people might say, I've had enough, I'm clicking off, I can't be bothered with him, I'm going. But bear with me here while I explain this. Obviously, for me, Abdoulaye Doucouré, Alan picked themselves. Abdoulaye Doucouré, I think, has been absolutely excellent. Rafa Benitez spoke about him today in his pre-game press conference and said that he basically said to him to get forward more. He said he's enjoying that time getting forward, and Rafa Benitez effectively said to him, get in the box, get in the opposition box, get forward, move forward. If that's what you want, if that's where you feel you can express yourself best, go and do it. And we've seen so far this season, 2 goals for Abdoulaye Doucouré so far, and he's got 4 assists, something like that. He's been absolutely excellent. So if we can have Abdoulaye Doucouré playing that sort of box-to-box, I think we've got, again, another massive goal threat. He scored against Manchester United last season at Old Trafford, of course, in the 3-0 draw. So I think having Abdoulaye Doucouré as that as that box-to-box midfielder, somebody who can burst into the opposition box but will also be there to cover defensively if needed, I think will be, like I said, pivotal tomorrow. Alan next to him, again, brilliant all season. Battles, puts his body in the way, wins every ball back that we seem to lose. Has got a surprisingly good turn of pace, which is brilliant as well. And yeah, I just think he's been absolutely fantastic. I really, really do. So Alan, and then Tom Davies, as I said, I've already got Bobby in the comments laughing. I think, given the fact that there's doubt surrounding Alex Iwobi and whether or not he'll be fit, we haven't really got anybody else that can play in that sort of number 10 role. However, if you were to ask me now, right, Cam, you've got 3 options: Tom Davies, Jean-Philippe Gbamin, or Andre Gomez. Gomez will be out with an injury, so Gomez isn't even an option. So you've got 2 other options there to play in the midfield. Let's say Alex Iwobi is fit. I think I'd rather have an extra defensive-minded player and have Abdoulaye Doucouré doing that box-to-box role, i.e. pretty much, doing, again, getting forward, creating chances, scoring goals, what Alex Iwobi should be doing that he's not doing, and then have an extra defensive-minded player. Now, you're looking at then Jean-Philippe Gbamin, who the manager has confirmed today that is fit, it will be fit, or Tom Davies. Now, a lot of people would instantly say Gbamin, but the reality of the situation is Jean-Philippe Gbamin fit enough? Let alone the injury that he's just had, that he's come back from. Think about the injury that he's had, last season and the season before. Is he fit enough to step in at Old Trafford and perform for 90 minutes at the level we need him to perform? Now, Tom Davies might be the greatest footballer in the world, but I still believe that as a number 6, I've seen Tom Davies put in some of the best performances that any number 6 has put in at Everton in my lifetime. I remember him against Liverpool at Anfield last season. He was absolutely excellent. He dealt with everything. Now, I understand completely. You get the other side of Tom Davies where he's making mistakes, or he's not getting to the ball, or he's giving silly fouls away, and I might be sitting here tomorrow with massive egg on my face, and Bobby might be in the comments laughing his head off at me because Tom Davies has had a howler and we've lost the game. That's fine. I get that. Tom is massively inconsistent and needs to sort that out. But I think at his best, Tom Davies is an asset to this Everton team. And if we're going to play with 3 midfielders and Abdoulaye Doucouré be the sort of forward-thinking, forward-minded midfielder out the 3, with Alan doing his usual role, then you're looking at Tom Davies or Jean-Philippe Gbamin. I just don't know whether Jean-Philippe Gbamin's ready. And yes, Tom Davies is a risk, but I think if he can sort of nail that number 6 role and maybe have the confidence that he's got somebody like Alan next to him, I think it'd be really, really interesting. So there you go. I'm going for Davies, Davies and Alan in that sort of midfield role as sort of defensive midfielders, if you like, and then Doucouré doing everything effectively. That's what at this point, Abdoulaye Doucouré just does everything, doesn't he? But hopefully doing the bursting into the opposition box, creating chances, scoring goals, playing people in, as he's done so far this season, and as he's been absolutely brilliant at doing. And then a front 3, again, I think it pretty much picks itself. Damari Gray over on the left, Andros Townsend on the right, and Solomon Rondon up front. I think both Andros Townsend and Damari Gray have had absolutely excellent starts to the season. Andros Townsend again getting another goal the other day against Norwich. Really nice penalty, really nice, well taken penalty. He's been electric this season. He's been absolutely electric. He spoke again yesterday about the impact the managers had on him, about how he absolutely loves working with Rafa Benitez and he thinks it's a perfect working relationship. Damari Gray has been absolutely excellent as well. Be nice for Damari Gray to get back amongst the goals tomorrow. He's had a brilliant start to the season. And then Solomon Rondon, look, not ideal. He's clearly not fit, and he was coming in to be a backup anyway. He was never coming in to be a number 1 starting striker. He hasn't played football for 4 months before joining Everton. I understand it's massively difficult for him. For those shouting for Ellis Sims, interestingly enough, Ellis Sims was seen in a video that Everton released earlier on this week with a protective boot on his right leg, I believe, which is interesting because that video, I think, was filmed during the week. So why he's got a protective boot on, I don't know. Lewis Dobbin, far too young, I think, to start a game against Manchester United at Old Trafford. And we can have the discussion all night about Ellis Sims, Lewis Dobbin. Let's be honest, Solomon Rondon will start tomorrow. So there you go. That is my predicted starting 11. A little bit maybe controversial at times, but let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I think most people will agree with me, bar maybe 1 or 2 players. But I think the rest of the side at this point, certainly given the current injury situation, I think it pretty much picks itself. If you're enjoying, by the way, please hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you could share the stream, that'd be great. So if you're watching live, get your thoughts in the live comments. Get involved with the conversation while we are live. If you watch this YouTube video, leave your thoughts down below, and we'll get involved with as many of them as we possibly can as well. Where are we? Where are we? Crimson says, if we showed them a game with passion and energy and lose, I'm happy. Just hope we do. Well, we've got to fight. We've got to show passion, and I think if we do, we'll give them a battle, because a lot of other teams have shown them a little bit of fight and a little bit of energy, and they haven't wanted anything of it. Jason says, think Sheriff beating Real Madrid shows anyone can beat anybody. Yeah, he is a good Cam. He's a good lad, is Cam. Why my word? There you go. Thank you very much, Bright. Really appreciate that. Really do. Where are we? Willie says, afternoon, Cam. Tomorrow will be a hard game. I'm home for a win. But with the injuries, I'll take a draw. Yeah, I'd take a draw at this point as well, to be honest with you. Kathy says, thanks for the updates on the injuries. I missed the press conference. No worries, no worries. James says, hi, Cam. Hope you're well, mate. I'm doing well. Wimmy says, team picks itself. Pickford, Godfrey, Keane, Mina, Dean, Alan, Decore, Townsend, Gray, Iwobi, Gordon, and Rondon. Interesting. So you'd have Iwobi or Gordon in the 10 behind Rondon and have Decore maybe focusing a little bit more defensively. Interesting. James says, we can't keep losing the ball. We have been, if we can brush up on that, we'll get a point at least, I think, mate. Interesting. Jason says, hi, Cam, your channel is boss. I think we can get something tomorrow if we run the channels. We have pace now. What do you think? I agree. I think we simply have to utilise that pace tomorrow. We've got to utilise the wide players, the Marty Gray, and Townsend. We've got to get the most out of those players because, let's be honest, again, Solomon Rondon hasn't been great in the last couple of games. I know there's various reasons as to why that's the case. I get it. But that puts even more responsibility on those wide players, even more responsibility on Andros Townsend, even more responsibility on Damari Gray as well. So I would agree. James says, Godfrey could play up front. What a player. He will turn up. They will all. I'm sure of it. I hope so. Bright says, just put the thumbs up. Thank you very much, my mate. Hit the like button, says James. Bobby said, Davis will be turning like the 68 plus when the ball will be in the net. Naughty football at him, lad. Interesting, but who else would you put in that midfield? Let's say Alex Iwobi is injured tomorrow and unavailable, which is a potential. Who else would you play in that midfield alongside Alan and Decore? That's just a question for everybody, by the way, not just Bobby. Bright says, Cam. Bobby says, oh well, there goes another Davis inquest for the next week. Listen, mate, if we had a full strength squad, he wouldn't be in the team because it'd be Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, Gray, Townsend, Decore, Alan, sorted. But there's only so much you can do with the current group of players we've got. Wayne says Gabama might get subbed on late. James says Davis over Gabama all day. Bobby says Insanity doing the same thing over and expecting different results. We haven't got much option. Wayne says to be a number 6, you need to be able to defend. Tom is too easy to rinse. Fair enough. I thought Gabama was still out. Rafa Benitez confirmed today that he is fit. Wayne says Damari at the 10 and Gordon out wide. Interesting. Teamland says Iwobi, but Iwobi, we don't know whether Iwobi's fit. He's picked up a knock. If he is fit, then yes, he probably will start. If he isn't fit, it'll be interesting. Look, again, just to finish up, we know this is going to be a difficult game. Of course it will be. Manchester United, they're an unbelievable side with a lot of top quality players. Will undoubtedly challenge for the league this season. We'll probably get to the last stage of the Champions League. And, as I said, in regards to quality, I've got a better side than Everton have. However, many teams have proven so far this season that even this Manchester United side, with Cristiano Ronaldo, with Jadon Sancho, with Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, they can be got at if you show more, if you fight or you want the game more than they do, if you show more desire, if you show more commitment, if you show more passion, if you take your chances when you get them. Everton will get chances tomorrow. I've got no doubt about that. Everton will get chances tomorrow. So we have to be able to take them when we get those chances. And if we can take them, then I think we've got a massive a massive opportunity to win this game. Obviously, it's not ideal given the injuries, but I still think there's an opportunity there to hurt Manchester United in this current stage because I don't think they've been playing well whatsoever. But obviously, you can never overlook a side like Manchester United. Quality all over the pitch. Away from home, so it'll be massively difficult. We've just got to hopefully go out there and get what we can out the game. But let's be confident. Let's hope that Everton can go out there. Let's hope the manager will have a plan. One thing I do think is that Rafa Benitez is a much better manager than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and that opinion of mine will stay regardless of the result tomorrow. And hopefully that shows during those 90 minutes at Old Trafford. There you go. 12:30 kick-off. Everton travelling to Old Trafford to face Manchester United. We know it'll be a difficult game, but let's hope we can get something out of it. If you enjoyed this live stream, please do hit that thumbs up button. If you've watched it live with us, really do appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for getting involved in the live comments. Really do appreciate all of your support. If you're watching this YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below and we'll get involved with as many of them as we possibly can. If you've enjoyed it, please hit that big thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new as well to keep up to date with all the latest content, and share the stream if you've enjoyed it, because that would mean a great deal to me as well. Ian says 4-4-2, Gordon and Sims up front, Rondon and Iwobi on the bench. Very inexperienced forward line for a game against Manchester United at Old Trafford, but there you go. That's just my opinion. Whamey says, going to be like Aston Villa. If they score, we might have problems. We have nothing off the bench to change the game. Yeah, possibly. Maybe Everton will just go defensive tomorrow and hold out for a point. And if we get a point, I'd be happy with that at this stage. But let's wait and see. Anyway, big thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this one, please do leave it a like. It only takes a second. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. We will be back tomorrow with the instant match reaction and the player ratings. So look out for those directly after the game. Hope is a good thing, says Bright. Thank you very much. Big thanks for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.